This is the plaintiff, Jason Zoglin. He says he hired the defendant to lay concrete on his sidewalk and steps leading up to his home, and he did a downright shoddy job. The sidewalk's already chipping, so the defendant tried a few quick fixes which didn't work, and now he needs a whole new job. The defendant should stand by his work, but didn't, so he's suing for the $1,700 it's going to cost to fix it. This is the defendant, Mark Ogden. He says he gave the plaintiff a 2-year warranty on the work he did in 2008, and that was 3 years ago. Besides, he told the guy to move the drain pipes from his gutters because they spill directly onto the sidewalk, causing unnecessary wear and tear. Bottom line, he tried to please the plaintiff many times, but the buck has to stop somewhere. He's accused of not being concrete.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
And welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff says the defendant is a horrible concrete layer and that the cement leading up to his walkway cracked almost immediately. But the defendant says the job was done 3 years ago. Seriously, it's the case of sloppy slab.
Okay, Jason Zoglin, you are suing Mark Ogden for $1,700, $1,200 of it, the money you paid him to do a concrete job, and another $500 for your time spent chasing him to pay you the $1,200. Talk to me. Tell me what happened.
Okay. Back in 2008, I embarked on a project to rehabilitate a house that I had purchased, which is something I do as a business.
Okay.
I have a picture of the house before and after. And late in 2008, I was starting to think about what jobs I had upcoming on the house. Most of it I did myself, but I didn't want to do the masonry work on the sidewalk. So I started looking for some estimates, and one of the persons that I contacted was Mr. Ogden, and I told him I was good with the work. But one of the things I mentioned—
What did you hire him to do?
Pour a sidewalk from the road to the house, and then a set of steps.
A walkway or a
steps.
sidewalk in front of the house?
A walkway then.
A walkway from the sidewalk or from the road to the house, and what else?
And a set of concrete steps leading up to the front of the house.
Okay, and he was going to charge you how much for that? Or he charged
$1,200.
you, and you paid that?
I agreed to that, and I paid it, and I have the receipt here.
Okay, and that was in what year?
It was in 2008.
Okay, what month?
First couple days of December.
So he poured concrete in the first couple of days of December.
Correct, and this is what I want to emphasize here, is that I told him at the time, I didn't live in this house, I was rehabilitating, it was uninhabitable, vacant. Told him at the time that this house is going to take me at least a year to do. He had the whole next summer. I was very concerned about the temperature.
Why did you just not hire him to do it until the temperature was warm?
He insisted. He's an expert, so I deferred to his expertise. He poured on the 1st or 2nd of December, and I have the weather data printed out here, which I looked up for those 2 days. Both days, it got down to one day 32, I believe the other day 28. I wasn't there at the initial pour, but he said, it's okay, I can do it.
And you kept expressing concern that he shouldn't do it.
I didn't think so. Right.
No, you expressed that.
I expressed it several times.
Watch this. Did he express concern that you shouldn't do it?
No.
Did you express concern that you shouldn't do it?
I told him.
And he insisted that you do it.
I told him that it was a late December pour and that the weather may be a factor, but he was interested.
Hold on, go on.
He was interested in flipping the house because he buys them and resell them.
So he insisted on doing it in December.
That's when he wanted me to do it.
Okay, so go on.
That is a bold-faced, complete lie,
okay,
and he knows it.
So go on.
And I didn't flip the house. I rent it to this day.
Did you ever put it up for sale?
Not with a realtor, no.
Did you ever put it up for sale, was my question.
I put it up for sale myself briefly.
Okay.
And then rented it.
Okay, so go ahead.
So he did this pour. By the time spring came, the sidewalk started to deteriorate. And you can see some pictures.
Do you have that paperwork? Like, was there a contract written between the two?
Yes, I do have that.
May I see that?
This is my receipt. It served as the proposal and the receipt.
So go on.
Anyway, it started to flake and crack apart.
Okay.
I called him when the snow melted, told him there was problems. I called him multiple times. Never would he call me back in general.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at this receipt, and then it says, this shall something as receipt and warranty. Warranty for how long? The paper doesn't say.
He told me verbally, 5 years. When
What's
he came
the
back,
warranty?
It's a 2-year warranty.
What's wrong with you guys? You put it in writing and you don't mention how long the warranty is? You actually write the word warranty, you guys sign this, and you don't notice that this paper that has like 20 words on it doesn't mention the length of the warranty?
How long does a normal sidewalk last?
I don't care.
30 years?
I don't care. I'm here to enforce your agreements.
Okay.
Okay? But it just slays me that you're in the business, and neither one of you notice that this one-page document doesn't mention how long the warranty is? All right,
Okay.
go on.
Let me point out that I contacted him well within, even if his warranty was 2 years.
Why were you calling him? What happened?
Because the concrete was flaking off.
Okay,
You could
may I
show
see
her
the
a couple
pictures of the flaking?
here.
Okay, now, is this what started happening when? By when?
When I looked, as soon as the snow melted in the spring of '09, it was starting to flake badly. I knew it was a bad pour. I called him, so we're talking well within, we're talking months, right? Less than 6 months, 4 months, from December till March, and the snow melts in Rochester. I couldn't get him. I finally got him on the phone and got him to come back. He dropped off his guys and left. He didn't supervise any of the work that I saw. He dropped them off in his luxury car and took off.
He's not entitled to have a luxury car?
He is entitled to have a luxury car, but he should work for it. They repaired one of the sections. Again, we went through the same...
Is that this picture?
Yes, and that's what that's trying to show. The one that you have your finger on was re-poured.
Okay.
Okay? And...
But did they take the whole thing out and report?
One block.
Right.
Talking about 3 feet, 4 feet.
Right. So this is how that block looked?
No, that's an existing block that he didn't replace.
Oh, so this was never his work?
That was his work. It was his whole pour.
I'm not understanding. Did he...
Okay, he didn't replace that part. He only replaced one section.
So did he ever do that part?
He did it originally.
Right, okay. And I understand that he only replaced one part. And you're showing me how a year later the replaced part looks fine, but the other part doesn't.
Correct.
All right, so what happens?
Finally, I got him to agree to come back, and I
How
said,
many times
did
he come back since the time he did it?
Twice. The original, 2 more. 2 in addition.
The original and then 2 additional. And on
Correct.
one of the additionals, he replaces one of the blocks, one of the squares.
Correct.
And on the other one, he does what?
He told me that he has a special paint. At this point, I was really skeptical. This is magic paint. This is going to make this sidewalk. We're going to sweep it off. We're going to put this paint on. He said, and I'll give you 5 years on that because this is a super product. You can see that was a brown colored paint. You can see it after it was painted where you see the brown. And I'd like to submit this. This is what happens when I sweep the sidewalk, if you might.
Okay. But all he was going to do was paint it?
Yes, but
Whose idea was it to put the keys in the picture?
This is special paint. Mine, for scale.
Very good. Talk to me. Tell me what's going on here, because it does seem to be falling apart. So talk to me and tell me what's going on.
Well, if Mr. Zoglin didn't want me to do the job in December, he shouldn't have let me do the job in December. Okay?
You know what I
Gave me the
think?
caution on
I
that.
think that Mr. Zoglin did want you to do the job in December because he was originally going to sell the place. It just didn't work out that way.
Incorrect.
But I also think that you're a professional. If you can't do it, you shouldn't do it. And if you do it, then and there are consequences, and you want them to be on him, you better get that in writing, my friend.
Right, well-
You better get in writing that customer was advised not to pour in December.
Absolutely.
Because
Never
if he
happened.
excuse me,
Sorry,
I don't need a
sorry.
cheerleader.
All right.
But anyway, go ahead. How long have you been in this business?
Probably 20, 25 years. I grew up in the construction industry.
All right, and so talk to me about this. Why is this chipping?
Well, I think that the concrete's a pretty subjective medium, and I think that there's a possible number of factors. A, the late season. There might have been some freeze-thaw that did not allow the top layers of the concrete to cure properly. And there was never any complaints about the steps themselves. The steps themselves did not have, from what I understand, did not have any flaking or peeling or anything. The paint that he refers to is actually a stain sealer. There's not paint. So it is a specialized product that is supposed to help adhere. It's certainly not your primary, fix.
Oh, does it ever work?
Does it ever work? Well, let me tell you.
no one walks on
they
it.
sell millions and millions of dollars.
I am not talking to you. You are irritating me. Does it ever work?
It does work.
I don't know, it seems like a bad Band-Aid.
Well, I definitely think that it's not optimal. The optimal
Did you just
thing
raise
is
your
to pour.
hand? You've got to be kidding me. Go
The
ahead.
optimal thing is to pour the concrete under the best
Right,
conditions possible, and to have that concrete cure and
What do concrete
stand
guys
for-
do? They don't pour in winter months and winter places? You got like a...
No, they do. They do. You see concrete being poured all times of
What
the
is
year.
it- what-
Sometimes they'll put curing blankets on it. Sometimes they'll keep them covered.
Did you guys put curing blankets on this one?
We did actually put a covering on it initially. That's
Whose
correct.
job is it to make sure that it cured properly? His? Because your job is done when you leave? Is that what you're trying to say?
I think that there are often situations where people do not, do work afterwards that potentially could make sure
but
that in that
what evidence
situation.
is there in this case?
It's relevant because it was poured late in the season and he wanted it poured, and he should have been more sensitive to that. In fact, he articulated.
And not done what? It's December. Where are you guys?
Rochester, New York.
Okay, did it snow?
It snows a lot in Rochester.
Right, exactly.
That's
so
correct.
we know that there's a problem because repeatedly during the course of the next several years, you have to go over there and he's trying to reach you like crazy. Were you avoiding him?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
And when I did contact, when we did have discussions,
Was he sort of
I
a pain? Because I find him to be a little bit of a pain in this courtroom in 10 minutes, so I can only imagine what he was like with you.
Judge, I do 300 projects a year, and 299 of those people are generally very, very happy. Half my work comes from referrals, but occasionally you're going to have people that you have to try and please and go back, and I service my work.
Okay, but I wouldn't call him a whiner when it comes. Would you put the picture down? You're so obnoxious. Seriously. In a minute, I'm going to have you tie him up. Okay, but when I look at this is not like he's being a baby. This is something to truly complain about.
Oh, surely.
So now the question is, what are the damages? He's suing you for $500 because he's gone through a lot of trouble to chase you, and so I guess every lawsuit gets a 30% bump up for trouble, and then $1,200 which he paid you. And by the way, did anything else happen to this square, or this square ended up fine?
That square is fine.
So now what we have is that certain other squares need to be redone, so it shouldn't be a full $1,200. It should be something less than $1,200. But your position is, no, Judge, it's got to be everything. The steps have to be ripped out. Everything has to be ripped out because what?
Because here's a picture. Here's the walk. Shows all the blocks on the walk.
Except for the one that was report, right?
Except the one that's report. And here's the steps. The time I told him the steps were okay, which was probably over a year ago, now the steps aren't so good.
Judge, it was beyond the warranty period. I mean, if you can go look at any concrete that's poured in New York City, and you're going to find sometimes concrete cracks the next day.
Right.
Does that mean it gets immediately torn out? No, that cracks.
If it's my house, yeah.
Well, maybe.
If I pay you to pour concrete and it cracks the next day, you better believe it's going to get torn out.
Yeah,
it doesn't cost you $1,200 to re-pour this stuff. I just don't understand how, looking at it.
It costs me more than that.
To report it?
Absolutely. It
Why?
has to be torn out first.
Oh, because of the tear out factor.
Yeah.
So let me see your bill from somebody to get this repaired.
I haven't gotten estimates until I find out the outcome of this.
Well, that's unfortunate because it sounds like he's saying that it's going to cost you more than the $1,200.
So the cement started to crack almost immediately, like 6 months, and 3 years later, it's a mess. Plaintiff have a case here?
I would think you'd have to take a look at the grade work below the concrete and register that, and take a look at the statute of limitations with respect to the...
Well, I can't do any of that. What do you think?
I think that 6 months is a little too soon. After that is understandable, but 6 months is way too soon.
The fact that it's the East Coast, does that matter?
A little bit, but I mean, it's got to last longer than 6 months and even 3 years.
Fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
I had pondered, I sort of expected you to say that sooner, the whole like it's out of warranty thing. Because yes, it's been many years. And even if this contract said 2-year warranty, and we were beyond the 2 years, and for 2 years he's calling you to fix a problem that surfaced during the 2 years, can you put, in essence, a statute of limitations on a negligence case by saying, well, 2 years are gone?
Ultimately, when Mr. Zoglin chose to accept a remediation process that allowed for a new medium to be put over that concrete, he was creating actually a different... He was saying, okay, this is acceptable, and I'm going to go accept the concrete as is on that.
You smell like a lawyer to me. Stop. I'm smelling lawyer. Did you go to law school?
I did.
I know, I can tell. Stop. You think I think that's a bad thing. I think it's a fabulous thing.
I didn't say it was bad.
Okay, I could tell. I could tell because no. Either that or you've been sued a lot, one or the other, and you've talked to a lot of lawyers.
Not very much.
I don't agree with that. This is not a new contract. This is you making good on what it is that happened. And for it's been a problem, and it's been a problem for a long time. And really, we're done. I mean, you're cooked. It's a problem. He's not going to get $1,700, but I am going to order you to repay the $1,200 because it's probably going to cost him even more than that. $1,200, verdict for the plaintiff. Goodbye,
Thank you,
gentlemen.
Your Honor.
We'll see what the lawyer/concrete pourer has to say about the outcome of this case. Well, what's your feeling on this verdict here?
Well, we try and do a professional job in everything we do. I think that the time that of the year he had me pour it, he should have taken responsibility for that.
Why didn't you, let's say, not do it at that time of year? Let's say, just not do it. Say,
I was trying to please the customer.
Well, you should have written it into the contract that this is not a good time of year to pour, so the responsibility is on you. Good idea?
That's correct.
Right. Okay, head right down there, okay? All right, come on in here and If you weren't so annoying, you might have won more.
Could be, but I still won.
Yeah, you still won. You satisfied with what you came out with here?
Yeah, I'm satisfied with the principle and with getting my money back for a bad job. I mean, the verdict's in the bag, and so is Mr. Ogden's work. And the people in Rochester have a right to know a crook from a mason.
Over to Harvey.
Okay, Kurt, the plaintiff's entitled to getting the cost of the job done, the job that should have been done properly. Whatever that would cost, that's what the plaintiff's entitled to get. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.